What's up guys, Jack here, and I wanted to do another video on forcing IOIs. Now, I've been doing this for years, but I never had a name for this concept. Steve Jobs is a seduction guru who actually came up with this term, forcing IOIs. It's basically where you try to have the girl look at you before you approach or give you some kind of indicator of interest or some kind of attention before you go in, so that it's not a cold approach, but instead a warm approach. And he had several examples. One of them was basically trying to lock eyes with a girl before you made the approach. So sometimes when you look at a girl and you kind of like just look at her eyes from far away, at one point it's kind of like that feeling of, hey, somebody's watching me. So she'll start looking up, and then she'll oftentimes lock eyes with you. And you have just a couple of seconds to go and approach. Otherwise, she just thinks you're a freaking loser or a pansy, a wuss. So you need to go up as soon as you get that. But it's basically trying to lock eyes with her. That's one of them. Talking louder, but not so loud that you seem like you're trying hard. Or maybe laughing louder, or maybe telling a story to someone just a little louder than normal, or with a little more energy and enthusiasm. Again, there's a limit. Don't make it seem like you're trying to entertain or trying too hard. Just make it seem like you're very entertained yourself by it, or that it's really cool story and you're sharing it just for the sake of sharing it, not like you're trying to share it to get attention. This is the difference between a really good Academy Award winning actor and one of those straight to DVD movies that goes straight into the Walmart bin for like $1.99 or something. So yeah, kind of practice when you're telling your stories. The other part, he mentioned having like some trick that he would hold onto the rail on the bus and he would kind of like flex his bicep so the girl could see how strong he was, or just kind of look his way because she would see the bicep all bulging out. So that was another one. And just little things like this to have her give you attention, or maybe standing next to the bar and kind of taking up more space. And then when she goes to the bar, you kind of, check her a little bit with your elbow as a joke. And then she's like, oh, hey, sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then you just open her. So things of that nature would be forcing an IOI, just so you can turn a cold approach into a warm approach. Now, don't always do this and make it try hard. You don't need to do this. You can just do a cold approach. She doesn't have to notice you. It's great if you can do it. It's like another little tool in your seducer's toolbox, but this is not necessary. So don't make it a crutch. It's just like another tool. I had something that I would do for across the bar to a lot of girls, and sometimes I would use the bartender. I'll release that technique in one of my products one day, but for right now, it's just anything you can do that's not try hard, that you can do to kind of get an indicator of interest from the girl, or attention, good attention. Another one he mentioned, I think he was like, he would make comments, just 1 or 2 word comment if he was around a girl, like a girl would be buying something and he would kind of say something like, ooh, that looks tasty. Kind of a little bit sexual. So he'd be like, that looks tasty. And he'd look at the girl, and then he would open with something else. Like she'd be like, yeah, I love this, da da da. Or he'd be like, oh, and then he'd be like, oh, that looks tasty. And she'd be like, oh, yeah, it's da da da. And he'd be like, yeah. He's like, my grandma kind of has a similar recipe or something. I don't know. Whatever. But it would just be something prior to just going up and him being like, hey, kind of, making it seem like he's just out to hit on girls or something. So use the forcing IOIs. I don't want to call it a technique, but just use forcing IOIs as another tool in your toolbox, and just use it and have fun with it, but don't make it a crutch. Don't become dependent on it. You don't need it, but it's great sometimes. This is what makes the game fun. You're not doing the same thing every freaking time. Like, you don't want to get, this should be fun for you. This is like a hobby for me, and I've loved it. It's one of the greatest things you could do. It's free, and there's an abundance of women out there, so you don't have to pay a lot for it. It's not like going skiing where you have to buy skis and an expensive ski pass for I don't know what type of resort, and then you need to fly out there and hotel costs or whatever. So, great stuff, free, great hobby. I mean, what other hobby is this great? Right? Right? Everything else requires a lot of money. Parachuting, you need the equipment, parachute, need to pay the plane, whatever. Pimping, nothing. Just get dressed, get out there, start talking to some girls. Hope I motivated you. I'm about to go out there right now. Looking forward to seeing you on future videos. Or if you're listening to the podcast, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Spread the podcast if you like it. Send it to some buddies. Maybe you guys can go out together and make this into a hobby because it's a great one. And for me, I don't enjoy anything as much as I've enjoyed talking to women, seducing women, having sex with women. The chase is often more fun for me. I don't want to say more all the time, but the chase is great. It gets my adrenaline up. I love it. Love talking to women. Love having sex with them. But yeah, get out there and do it. Start it up and pimp it. Have a good one.